Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Friday, August the 2nd, race number 7 at Saratoga. It's the Grade 2 National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame Stakes. We're going a mile on the inner turf for 3-year-olds. $200,000 is the purse. The Hall of Fame, one of 3 stakes races on Friday's Saratoga card. Get involved by signing up for a DRFBets account. Use the promo code HELLO and start firing away with DRFBets. Let's meet the field for the Grade 2 Hall of Fame. You can access free formulator past performances for the race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post-position order, beginning with a stretch-out sprinter, Mike, the number 1, Sombaye. And I really liked Sombaye going into the quick call. Todd had been working him in company with horses like Clint Maroon and Social Paranoia, and he'd been keeping up with him on the turf. It looked like he would handle it. What happened in that race? Was it simply a situation where that yielding ground, just he didn't care for it?
I mean, I guess that's the way, if you want to give him another chance, that's what you have to say about his turf debut, because that was opening day up here, big rainstorm halfway through the card. The turf was very soft. And maybe he just didn't like it, Dan. Maybe he wants firmer ground. I mean, I can understand anybody who wants to give him another chance. He didn't do that much running in the quick call, but maybe he has an excuse. I think this might be a little bit tougher for him, though.
My major concern for him is the distance. I think that a mile is actually pushing it for this horse. Yeah, Todd has been very reluctant to stretch him out. He only tried it once in the Breeders' Futurity, but with the rail stretching out, he should be on the lead, and Timeform US concurs. I'm not sure about this blue bar scenario, though. Do you really think this pace will be slow? Because there are horses in here that are tactical enough to push Sombaye.
Yeah, no, I don't think this pace will be slow. As a matter of fact, I think there'll be a couple of horses who want to be forward in this race, and I think they will be.
Let's talk a little bit about the number 2, Swamp Rat, a horse that has multiple stakes placed in his career. And as I wrote in the closer look for this race, there are 2 ways handicappers can look at his most recent start. A, he has a clear lead at the 3/16 pole. He's supposed to win that race. Or B, he's doing a lot of dirty work, pressing a pace, and a race where it kind of fell apart late. And he was right there and got run down by part of the favored entry. I thought all in all, I'm looking at it from the latter standpoint because he's going to be a good price. He's tactical. The horse that he was pressing ended up nowhere.
Yeah, I thought he ran well last time. He's a pretty good horse, this horse. The question, I guess, is, do you think he can improve again? I think he might have to improve again to beat this field. I think he ran fine last time. The race did sort of come apart at the end. The horses that ran 1 and 3 in there came from pretty far back to get up. The thing is, I feel like he had a real chance to win that race, Dan. Yeah. And, the horse that ran him down, Value Proposition's a very nice horse for Chad Brown. You could tell Irad had his hands full trying to keep Value Proposition to run in a straight line. Otherwise, he probably would have won a little bit easier than he did. I like Swamp Rat. He's going to be a price in this race. I have no argument with anybody who likes him, but I picked somebody else.
English B is the number 3. Tough trip in the Columbia, 3 starts back. Justice served in the Murphy when he had a very nice trip under Jose, the old in-out. And last time out in the Belmont Derby, they tried to stretch him out to 1.25 miles. He was able to save ground most of the way. Ended up in behind horses at the quarter pole, but I don't think if he was clear, he would have done much better. I think that 1.25 miles was just a little bit too long. At this point in his career, those horses just a little bit too tough. He drops back down in class and distance with some tactical speed. I think he needs a slight bit of improvement.
I think he does too, but I think he'll get a good trip in this race, and I like him cutting back to 1 mile. I agree wholeheartedly with your take of his Belmont Derby. He had a little traffic in that race, but I don't think he was going to do any better. That distance seems like it's too far for him. I like him cutting back. I like his turf form. I think he's headed the right way.
Award winner seems to be coming into this race the right way for Brian Lynch, who's taken his time with this lightly raced 3-year-old. He has really improved since switching to the turf, and I actually like him cutting back to 1 mile from those 1 1/8 races. I liked what he did at Churchill Downs 2 starts back. He tracked outside. He basically gave ground every step, and he was grinding him down in the end. And last time out in the Kent, he pulled so hard in the early portion of that race that there was no choice but for Lannery to make the lead. He was right there at the wire. He just got beat at Dirty Bob. I think he's going to do better with a target, and Sombaye provides the target.
Yeah, I like him cutting back as well, and I do think he has a chance to really step forward in this race. I think all in all, he was a little disappointing last time. He did pull hard early, but he made the lead. I thought, and I don't want to make excuses for him. He was even money. I thought maybe Lannery gave him a little bit of an overconfident ride. He sat pretty chilly on this horse all the way into the stretch, and he let him get hooked, and then he got outfinished at the end. I think he can do better than that.
I'm a little bit disappointed in what I've seen from Casa Creed in the last two races, and I know he's kept pretty good company. In that Penn Mile, all in all, I thought it was a very good trip. Now, when Junior angled off the rail at the quarter pole, Moon Colony just grabbed that spot, shot up the rail, and maybe that just made the difference.
Yeah.
Maybe if you switch the trips, Casa Creed wins. But last time out in the Manila, Junior gave him a similar trip. He saved ground. He came out in the stretch, and I have no problem with him losing to Win, who could be any kind of horse on the turf and has a lot of talent. I needed him to be second there. It looked like Fog of War was just crying out for someone to catch him, and Casa Creed just couldn't do it. On figs, on class lines, on tactical speed, this horse fits. And maybe I'm just dead wrong about him in the vast minority, but I don't want to take a short price on him. I don't think he has such an edge on this field.
Overall, I agree with you 100%. I like him. I think he's a perfectly fine horse. I think he's run, pretty well in his last two races, but I didn't really see excuses for him either. He makes a lot of sense in this race. He's got figures that fit. I think he'll get a great trip in this race. There are a lot of ways to look at him and think he's a major contender in here, but I want to bet somebody else.
Lymanites knocked heads with some of the big boys in the 3-year-old division on dirt, horses like War of Will and Country House and Mr. Money, and he's just bred for turf, isn't he? He's by Lemon Drop Kid, who we know is a strong turf influence. This dam won 3 Group 1 races on turf in Brazil. She has foaled 2 turf winners from 3 runners, including 1 Group 1 winner in Brazil. My main issue with Lymanites is running style. He's a one-run closer. He doesn't have any speed. While I don't think the pace will be blue bar, I don't think it'll be red bar either. He reminds me a little bit of Combatant that Steve Asmussen had last year. Did some good things on dirt, did some good things on turf, but his running style worked against him a lot.
I know. I don't like his running style for this race. I like it for turf overall because generally speaking, his running style plays a lot better on grass than it does on dirt. I like him as a dirt horse, that's for sure. I hate playing horses like this, though, when they switch over to make their turf debuts in races like this. I just feel like it's too tough. I'm not going to be surprised if he's better grass horse, Dan. And down the line, I'm going to keep an eye on him, but I'm not betting him on Friday.
You and I have always been fans of the number 7 Global Access, just a very consistent runner for Mike Trombetta. And don't sleep on these Trombetta shippers. He came in last year, won the risk averse with Monte Crista. Global Access, 2 back in the Marine, turned the tables on favored Skywire, a horse that had beat him in his previous start, did so with a really nice outside stalking trip. Last time out in the Charlie Barley, I thought that was just an interesting race where he was back down to favoritism. He somehow ended up on the rail on the far turn, got to the outside. He was eventually grinding him down late. He is really consistent. I have to use this horse somewhere.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense in here. I mean, maybe he has to improve to beat this field. I don't know. I think he ran, maybe a little better than it looks last time. His prior turf start when he beat Swamp Rat, I thought he ran great that day, sort of wide the entire way, but he won that race fairly easily. I thought he had a real tough trip in the Columbia before that. I don't know, Dan. I think this horse fits really well in this field. I think he's got enough speed for Johnny V to keep him in range. He'll probably be on the outside again, but I like this horse.
Moon Colony completes this field, and Leparoux just gave him a brilliantly patient ride in the Penn Mile over a yielding turf course. He appreciates cut in the ground as Moon Colony, but Moon Colony waited until Casa Creed came off the rail. He saved ground every inch. He shot up the inside. He got it done. In the Belmont Derby, just throw that race out. He was pushed by one of those European rabbits. They went way too fast. I was actually surprised he took him to about the 3/16 pole before he got tired. I think he's an underrated horse, Moon Colony, and like a couple of others, he has a target this time.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about him. It's funny. He looks like maybe he just really likes cutting the ground, but I don't think that really moves him up that much. I think you have to, really realize that race on June 1st in the Penn Mile, yeah, he got a great trip. It was also basically his 3-year-old debut, and he took a huge step forward in there. I think he ran better than it looks last time. He's a dangerous horse in here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this year's Grade 2 National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame Stakes. Real skullbuster to me, Mike. It's got to be a spread. For me at least, we're kicking off a 50-cent pick 4. I picked Swamp Rat. He's going to be value on the tote on the win side of things. He's 10-1. Casa Creed's the kind of horse I want to use really only underneath in single race exotics, but in multis I want to also use the 7 Global Access and the 8 Moon Colony. So single race picks 2, 5, 7, 8. Multi race picks 2, 7, 8. Where are you going? going?
Yeah, I went with the 7 Global Access on top. I think he's going to be a fair price in this race. I want to give him the chance. I went 7, 3, 8, and 4. We'll see how it all plays out. I think trips are going to be very important in here.
And we know Sombaye should be able to get to the lead. It'll be really interesting to see where the other jockeys place their horses because it's very tactical. Nice evenly matched group in the Grade 2 National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame, kicking off a 50-cent late pick 4 at Saratoga on Friday. Bet the pick 4, bet the other stakes races on the card, bet the nice 2-year-old races with a DRFBets account. Sign up, use the promo code HELLO, and start punching away. Approximate post time for the Hall of Fame, 4:39 Eastern. Good luck.